Hey y'all, my name is Shania. I am a hairstylist and a senior undergrad accounting student. In today's video, I will be explaining to y'all what exactly is a sole proprietorship and how does that apply to you. But before I start the video, make sure you all like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Okay, so I'm gonna paint a picture in y'all head so that y'all can really understand what exactly a sole proprietorship is and how that applies to you. So one day, all of the beauty providers, the nail techs, the lash techs, the barbers, the hairstylists, braiders, we all decide we want to buy a house. So we buy this one house, and it's a beautiful, our dream house for everybody to fit into. So we live in this home for about a year, and then we decide that we want a deck, like a nice little porch for us to chill on. So we hire a contractor, get the deck built, and now we have a home with a deck built onto it. 5 years later, we decide, okay, we're kind of over the house. We don't want it no more. We want to go do our separate things. So we now have to sell the home. But when you sell a home, you can't break up what part of the home you want to sell. So you have to sell it as a bundle, the home with the porch. This ultimately explains what a sole proprietorship is. You are the home and your business is the porch. But together, y'all are at home with a porch. Two entities that are combined to be one. According to the IRS, a sole proprietorship is someone who owns an unincorporated business by him or herself. This is the default business entity, meaning any person who regularly provides a service and/or a product for a fee is classified and taxed as a sole proprietorship. No sign-up or registration needed to the IRS. There are 4 business structures that the IRS use to determine how to tax your business. One being the limited liability company, also known as the LLC, a limited liability partnership, also known as an LLP, an S corporation, and a C corporation. When deciding which business structure is best for you, this is ultimately up to you and what you feel like your needs are for your business. But today I will be telling y'all the pros and cons to operating in a sole proprietorship. So by the end of this video, y'all are really gonna have a clear understanding on what a sole proprietorship is. So we're first going to start off with the pros. The first pro being it is easy to set up and there's no paperwork needed. So as soon as you begin to sell products or give off a service, whether that be in a makeup artist or doing the face, cutting your first haircut, you're now considered a self-employed sole proprietor. Pro number 2, there are no fees attached to operating as a sole proprietorship. When you are a corporated business, there are annual reports and fees that you are to pay in order to keep your business within good standing, meaning it's in compliance with the state. When you're a sole proprietor, as long as you're filing your taxes and paying your taxes yearly, you will continue to be within compliance within the state. Since a sole proprietorship is considered a unlimited liability, you technically do not have to have separate bank accounts and separate finances from your personal and your business. Now, even though you don't have to legally, like you do for other business entities such as LLC, keeps you very organized as far as like your bookkeeping and knowing how much you're spending versus coming in. And you're able to make better business decisions when you really understand, okay, this is how much money I have to spend on these expenses. This is how much money I have. But again, you're not required to since you are a sole proprietorship and you are the business. Now let's move on to the cons to operating as a sole proprietorship. A sole proprietorship is considered an unlimited liability company. You are responsible for any debt that is incurred within the business, meaning that when you decide to get a credit card to pay for your supplies maybe or your rent, and if you were to be in any type of law conflict or being sued or whatnot, your personal assets are able to be held accountable for the balances that you may have to pay. No matter if your business is making money or not, it falls on you and you are responsible for paying that debt off. As a sole proprietor, there are 3 taxes you are required to pay: federal tax, state tax, and self-employment tax. When you are an employee, your employer is required for half of your Social Security and half of your Medicare. But since you are a self-employed person, you are responsible to pay the full 15.3%. 12.4% goes towards Social Security, and 2.9% goes to Medicare. Another tax that is optional depending on what exactly you provide as your services and products is sales tax. Sales tax, just like state income tax, differ from state to state. Make sure you do your research and figure out what percent your state falls under. Another thing I wanted to explain to y'all before I wrap up this video, it doesn't necessarily fall under sole proprietor, but it connects to being a sole proprietor in a way. So say if you did decide to go ahead and register your business as an LLC. When you are a single member LLC, meaning that only you are within this LLC, and you didn't file a form to be considered a corporation, you are taxed and viewed as a sole proprietorship by the IRS. But you do still have that protection as an LLC, unlike a sole proprietorship, from the separating your personal assets from your business assets, as long as you do not, what the IRS considers, pierce the corporate veil. Piercing the corporate veil means that you are intertwining your finances of your personal and your business. When you're a sole proprietorship, like I explained as one of the pros, you do not have to worry about keeping your finances separate according to the IRS. You should though, but you don't have to. But when you are LLC, if you want to take advantage of one of the reasons why you filed for LLC, you need to make sure you're keeping your personal and your business assets and cash flow and expenses and all that separate. Now that you understand what a sole proprietorship is, the pros and cons, a little bit of the taxes about it, will you continue to be a sole proprietor, or do you think you need to go and file for a different business entity? That's for you to decide. But one thing I will give my opinion on is that if you do have assets such as a paid off car or a paid off home, or that type of thing, and the services you provide are a high risk type of service where a lawsuit could possibly happen, a LLC, which brings in that liability protection, would be a benefit to you, because you're then able to keep your personal separate from business, so you don't have to fear of one day something, we can't predict what happens, so one day something happens and now you're faced with a liability to pay out to this customer or client. So keep that in mind as you progress in your services. That's all I have for you all today. If you learned something new, let me know in the comments. I will see y'all in my next video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you later. Peace.